The Great Taking is a warning by former hedge fund manager David Rogers Webb. It details the ability, perhaps inevitability, of the financial system to seize most of the assets of global citizens in the event of a financial debt apocalypse. Webb's central claim is simple. The modern financial system no longer functions on ownership but on claims, and in a systemic failure, claims are consumed so the system can survive itself. There is no need for new laws, emergency votes, or midnight decrees. The machinery has been quietly constructed and globalized over the past 30 years. The transfer happens automatically through custody agreements, clearing rules, insolvency hierarchies, and the legal fiction that convenience equals ownership. What most people hold is not property. It is a receipt issued by an intermediary who can fail. The pivot point is the distinction almost nobody reads closely: legal title versus beneficial interest. Stocks, bonds, ETFs, pensions, and most brokerage assets are held in street name. The investor is not the owner of the asset. Read that again. The investor is an unsecured creditor to a chain of custodians that rises vertically into clearinghouses and central securities depositories. In calm markets, this distinction feels academic. In a crisis, it becomes everything. Insolvency law does not protect expectations. It enforces priority, but priority flows upward, always, to preserve the core plumbing of the system. The end holder, despite the comforting language of statements and dashboards, is last in line. After 2008, this hierarchy was hardened. Resolution structures were harmonized across jurisdictions. Bail-ins replaced bailouts. Assets held through intermediaries were reclassified in ways that allow them to be pooled, netted, and used as collateral to stabilize systemically important institutions. This is where the taking occurs. Securities that investors assume are segregated are legally available to satisfy senior claims in a failure event. Just an accounting entry that reassigns value while the public debates symptoms on television. Investors will likely see their value as still existing but inaccessible. Then they will receive a haircut, increased by the massive decline in the dollar. They will be paid out at, speculatively, 10 to 30% of the value. Derivatives accelerate the process. They sit at the top of the food chain with super priority in bankruptcy, exempt from stays, entitled to immediate collateral seizure. Most securities today are entangled in derivative chains, whether the holder knows it or not. The same asset can be pledged multiple times, simultaneously, across jurisdictions. The system works because everyone believes it works. When that belief cracks, ownership collapses into ranking while the center is protected. The perimeter, U, absorbs the loss. This is not a conspiracy. It is disclosed architecture. The language is dry, technical, and ignored. That is why it functions without pushback. What survives this structure are assets that sit outside it, instruments without counterparties, assets that do not require an intermediary to assert existence, physical bearer assets, and directly registered holdings. Things that cannot be rehypothecated because there is no mechanism to do so. The Great Taking does not predict a date. It claims inevitability. The trigger can vary. Derivatives cascade, sovereign default, liquidity freeze, but the outcome does not. The rails are in place. When crisis strikes, value moves up the custody chain. Regulatory mechanisms click into action, and bag holders figure it out way too late.